Hey, welcome back, everyone. It's time for Daybreak in 10 on Color 10. We're with you commercial-free until the end of the newscast. We get it started, of course, with your forecast first and meteorologist TJ Springer. TJ, good morning.
Good morning, Joe. A bit foggy out there yet again. Not as bad as what we saw on our morning yesterday. We still have some pockets of it, though, seeing the visibility a little bit reduced between Clinton and Lake Ozark. We had some down toward the Branson area. It's not too bad now. It's going to be that way through the morning, just patchy in nature, not terribly dense, but still with lingering moisture, clear sky, light wind, the perfect recipe to get that fog to develop. And it's also freezing on contact, so that is something you want to be aware of this morning. 24 in Springfield, 23 in Clinton, 30s in Camden, Monette, above it there in Ava, 34, just a couple degrees above freezing there, 34 currently, 2 in Harrison. So be aware of that. You'll probably need the ice scraper just in case. We'll give it the yellow light. We'll be just fine for the evening commute with a lot of sunshine. Nice to have those days getting longer by longer and longer, little by little. There we go. Satellite and radar are showing some clouds off to our east. High pressure is in control for now, but we are looking at some changes as we head through the next couple of days. In our wagon walking forecast, you'll probably want to be bundled up for sure and have your furry friends bundled up. We're back into the 50s this afternoon. Say hello to Ritter. Remember, if you want to send us a photo, head on over to ozarksfirst.com and click on the wagging and walking tab. We'll have that last look at that 7-day forecast, Joe, in just a few minutes.
4 suspects in the death of a 4-year-old girl will appear in court in Benton County today. We'll be tracking what happens there. Our David Chasnov learned, though, that this case is sparking a little bit of controversy. David, what do you know about it? What details can you give today?
Well, Joe, Color 10 spoke with a heartbroken father who's not connected to this case, but he plans to protest outside the courthouse this morning. John Acosta created a Facebook page in memory and support of the 4-year-old girl, and court documents say the girl died after being beaten and forced into a pond. James and Mary Mass are the child's parents, and they pleaded not guilty to the charges of endangering the welfare of a child. Court documents show they allowed Courtney Allman and Ethan Mast to beat the child because they were told they had a demon inside them. Allman and Mast are charged with second-degree murder, assault, and sexual abuse. Acosta says he hopes justice is served.
I believe, and so do most of the people I've spoken to, that if you torture and kill a child in this state, you should never get out of prison. And we want to make that a law.
And second-degree murder in Missouri is punishable by 10 to 30 years in prison or a life sentence without the possibility of parole. And all 4 suspects we mentioned are being held without bond.
We'll have an update on that coming up for you from Bailey Stroll at the courthouse during midday. On to some political coverage. State lawmakers are going back to Jefferson City to start the new legislative session. The Missouri Chamber of Commerce has a list of priorities, the top one being to protect businesses from COVID-19 litigation.
Protection, that employers have the certainty and the ability to reopen without fear of frivolous lawsuits related to the COVID virus. That's very important to us. We've seen over 1,000 complaints filed across the country, and it's by opportunistic trial lawyers that are trying to make money off this virus.
That's Dan Meehan, the president of the chamber. He says it originally wanted a special session to bring lawmakers back to Jeff City to address the issue. He even drafted a letter with over 800 businesses involved to Governor Mike Parson about it. He says protecting businesses from liability would help restore the economy after the shutdown. But not everyone is on board with that. Doctor and lawyer Brad Bradshaw says lawmakers shouldn't be focused on giving a pass to businesses, but instead focus on how to save more lives.
What's opportunistic is the state government trying to distract people from the horrible job they've done and giving these businesses immunity, which arguably is against our Constitution for negligence. If they're negligent, they should be held accountable. If they're not, then they shouldn't.
The Missouri Chamber of Commerce also wants lawmakers to increase funding for transportation and more legislation to help equip the workforce for opportunities that already exist. The session opens up tomorrow. Georgia's Senate runoff elections will be decided today to determine the balance of power in Washington. Both President Trump and Joe Biden were spending yesterday campaigning for those candidates. The races are between Republicans Kelly Loeffler and David Perdue and their Democratic challengers Raphael Warnock and John Ossoff to decide which party controls the Senate. One win does it for the Republicans, while 2 wins will do it for the Democrats.
It's the last line of defense against this radical socialist agenda. and really our last opportunity to protect everything that President Trump has accomplished over the last 4 years.
They will try to block Joe and Kamala's every move, just like they tried to do to President Obama. Well, we have too much good work to do.
3 million Georgians have already voted early in this runoff race. On to some news from around the region for you now. One Missouri lawmaker wants to deploy dentists in the fight against the pandemic. State Representative Danny Busick introduced a plan in Jefferson City that would give dentists the ability to volunteer as vaccinators during emergencies. Those dentists would be required to perform the same steps as other medical professionals when administering the doses. St. Louis Public Schools reached a tentative agreement with the teachers union. This is coming after 8 months of negotiations. Union leaders say the deal includes raises over the next 3 years and a bonus. The union will later vote if they'll ratify the new contract. And St. Louis aldermen once again consider a plan to use spy planes to help cut down on crime. You may remember this issue from 2019. A company called Persistent Surveillance Systems offered to fly a surveillance plane over the city for free as a test. The planes photograph large areas which police can replay and zoom in on to track criminals, but many people are protesting this, believing it to be a privacy violation. On to some news around the world. UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson announced a new national lockdown for England as the country fights the spread of the new variant of the coronavirus. The lockdown is expected to go until mid-February. The nation's virus alert system has reached its highest level. Starting tomorrow, schools will be closed for in-person learning and non-essential businesses will be shut down. Johnson says health officials are ramping up the country's rollout of the vaccine, and by mid-February, about 20% of the UK's population will be vaccinated. Intense rains and hail led to flash flooding in Bolivia today. At least 4 people were killed in the flash flood. According to police, local media report that the storm lasted only about 90 minutes. When we take a look at what's trending for you this morning, those Georgia runoff elections are what you do need to watch out for. Polls close at 7 o'clock Eastern time, so 6 o'clock here. If you have WGN, don't forget to put on News Nation. They'll have plenty of real-time results for you to give you all the updates you need to know. Again, those 2 Senate runoff elections are both happening in Georgia to determine control of the Senate. 1 win for the Republicans gives the Republicans control. 2 wins for the Democrats would essentially give them control. Now we look at this 7-day forecast here, and we have a nice day on tap for us, right, TJ? But that's about it.
Yeah, we really have some rougher weather, quote-unquote, Joe, as we head through the next couple of days. For now, enjoy the nice weather. We do have some fog out there. It's patchy, not as bad as what we saw yesterday morning for sure, but another storm system moves in, brings the shot for some rain and snow late Wednesday into Thursday, so that's going to be one hiccup, and then another disturbance may bring some light snow Sunday, but cold weather for sure heading into this weekend into our second full week of the new year.
All right, we will keep an eye out for that. Good time to get the Color 10 weather app for this week, everyone. Thanks so much for starting your morning with us here on Daybreak.